Hi, this is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is Listening Beyond the Sound Bites. Joining me in studio today is Mike Sullivan, who is a potter. I like that, I have to say. Potter and owner of the Mud Studio in...
Waterbury.
It is in Waterbury. I always kept saying it's in Middlesex.
We were in Middlesex for 12 years.
Oh, we'll have
Right
to
next
talk
to Red
about that.
Hen, and that can't mean.
Oh, yes,
complex.
of course. So
Yeah.
there's a line right there where one side's Waterbury.
No, we moved out of Can't Mead 3 years ago, two or three years
really?
ago. So we're in the old Perro's gun shop in Waterbury.
Oh, that's a great spot. There's actual parking there too. That's good.
There is parking.
Yeah, nice. I'll have to check
paved.
it out. Huh?
The parking's paved too.
Yeah, but it's good. Anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you tell our listeners or viewers a little bit about yourself? You can just.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh, you can do it.
My name is Mike Sullivan. I own the Mud Studio, which is a pottery studio that started in Montpelier actually in 2008, and we used to be on River Street, and then we moved to Middlesex, and we were there for 12 years, and then we moved to Waterbury like 2.5 years ago or so.
Nice. Excellent. Because that is a beautiful studio. That's really good. And can you talk about the Mud Studio? When I looked it up online, it talked about giving long-term pottery classes, workshops, all kinds of stuff you do. And I found the word Mishima, and I want to know if you explain that as part of making pottery.
Oh, sure.
Oh, good.
Well, try to get them all. We do teach like classes, and they're mostly in like 2-month blocks because pottery is it's not like a paint and sip kind of thing. It's like a multi-step process where things have to fire and dry, and then you go back and work on it again, and it gets fired again. So it just takes a little while to get anything through. And Mishima is a surface decoration where you would like...
Do I have any on here? We brought bowls to show you because we have a surprise for you.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, never mind.
It's kind of a decorative thing where you would carve into the clay while it's still wet, and then you put in like colored slip, which is like clay that just has colorant added, and then you either like scrape it off the surface or wipe it off, and it stays inside the carving, so you get like a
nice
carved in sort of almost like a wood inlay or something, but it's a
that
different
sounds
color clay.
pretty. I'll have to check it out because I saw that word. I love looking up new words, but I said no. I think I'm going to ask Mike this one directly. But you do workshops, and now potters come in and they do their work there, right? I mean, can they rent a space, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's like 40. We call them members. They're people who are not in class who are experienced potters, and so they get like a shelf space, and then they can come use the equipment, and they just kind of use the studio on their own. And there's probably, I don't know, 100 and something students in any given class session. So that's those are our two main things. Like, I mean, we do private lessons and stuff
their
too,
work is there to buy.
There's a little gallery with their stuff to buy. That's mostly all member stuff, and then we do a couple big sales. There's one Memorial Day weekend that will have a big second sale, so it has like all the student stuff too. So.
Nice. Well, speaking of sales, Mike is here because I invited him. He is a co-sponsor along with, what is it called?
Blockhouse Studio?
Blockhouse in Waterbury, Waitsfield. Sorry. And this is the best event ever. It's called the Empty Bowl Benefit, and it's being held at the Zen Barn. You used to hold it.
We used to have it at the old studio in Middlesex.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. Just you're always afraid to walk around and hit something, but it was fun. But I did like the Zen Barn. That was kind of fun.
Yeah, it's nice that they host it for us.
Yeah.
The newer space they're in, we thought about hosting it there because it'd be nice, but there's not. We would have to like shuttle people in because there's only like 20 parking spots.
Yeah, it's bad there.
I don't know how we would do it. So we ended up asking those guys, and they were willing to host it. And
yeah, that's great. It was lovely.
Great to work with.
Yeah. You have...
And they have a commercial kitchen, which is really nice. At the old place, we were like heating giant stock pots of soup
yeah,
on like little burners. So
Now, where did you get, there's usually soup, couple of different kinds of soups?
yeah, there's actually a lot of different kinds of soup. There's usually only like 3 or 4 out at once, like
Wow.
a couple of vegetarian and a couple of meat soups. But then there's probably like 7 or 8 restaurants that will make soup for it.
wonderful.
So we just like as we run out of one,
You
we'll start
bring 'em
heating
out.
up another one, and
Yep.
it'll change. The soup will change, but there's always a few to choose from.
And you get the soup. When you walk in, you get to, with your ticket, you get to pick. I have 6 of them, so that's how many times I've been there. And I'm looking. So you can pick whatever one you want. It's a whole big table, and people let you pick. It's great. They're all over here. I brought my whole collection. See this? It's really nice. Isn't it? I love this stuff.
It's very
It's
nice.
sticky. I don't know what that's about. I don't
You
even
gotta
want.
you gotta do your dishes better.
Yeah, I know. Don't even ask. Just pretend it's clean. No, it's in my window. I have a window thing like you're supposed to put flowers and stuff in your kitchen
Oh,
window.
yeah, I know what you
That's
mean.
where I have them in there on display. But anyway, it's the Empty Bowl Benefit, and it's on April 13th, and there's 2 seatings, 4 and 7, and you can fill in all the...
Yeah, it's 2 seatings at 4 and 7. You walk in, there's probably like 450 bowls to choose
Oh, yeah,
from. There's
easy.
tons, and
Yeah.
then you would go get soup, and there's bread. Red Hen always
Red
donates
Hen,
tons
right.
of bread to us for it. Lots of desserts.
Yep, cabbage cheese, right?
Lots of cheese. Yeah, there's usually some kind of music.
Yep.
There'll be a cash bar at Zen Barn. So it'd be nice to support them a little bit since
Yes.
they do donate the space to us, which is really
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, and this year all the money, like your tickets are $35. All $35 will go to Good Samaritan Haven in Barrie. We've kind of always done this event for the food bank when we did it at the old studio, and then last time we did it for flood relief. The first.
Yes, I remember that,
yeah.
right.
So
Well, there's so many people needing the Good Samaritan services.
yeah, it seems
And-
like a really needed.
Yeah. My church, there's a lot of churches, my church does it, they make soups and food for breakfast and stuff, and they'll provide it to Good Samaritan for the people that are housed there. And what they've done to that motel,
Oh yeah, it's pretty amazing.
yeah, that's, and just to correct you, because I live in Berlin, that is Berlin, not
Oh.
Barrie.
Well, isn't the original one in Barrie?
Yeah, the original one. And I don't know if it's still operating. I was going to ask them, but what they did to that motel is just stunning. And you never see the people. I don't know where they go during the day, but they're, it's a beautiful place. It's neat and tidy and just
They
lovely.
did a really good job. I think
Yeah.
they have the only, I don't know what you'd call it. Well, it's like housing and like substance abuse treatment.
Oh yes,
in
they have
one.
they have counseling.
I think it's the only one in the state that actually has like both in like one location where it's like.
I think they use the house up where the owners used to live, up on the hill.
Yeah.
I think they use that for the counseling and stuff, and that's really great.
So we're excited to pair with them, and all the leftover soup and food will actually go to them too. So
That's great. They can freeze it and
yeah,
have it whenever. That's good. I had to make that's a lot of work, may I say. I had to make, I took my lobster pot and made a pea soup. And I usually make soup,
yeah,
for
normal
my
size amounts.
husband and myself, and I'm like, what the heck? But it was fun that people enjoyed it. So, and you had music and entertainment last year. That was
Yeah, there's a
that was
couple.
great.
I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but there's a couple people who have played like every year for every
great,
event.
great.
And they will be playing again this year.
That is
Yeah,
good.
it should be good.
Yeah,
There's, like you said, there's 2 seatings. One is at 4, and then one is at 6.
6.
And there's a whole new set of bowls. So we get all the bowls. We kind of divide up. Like if we get 10 of the same bowl, we put 5 in one seating, 5 in the next. So if you come to the second one, you're not getting like the second choice.
Right. You're getting all brand new bowls.
You get the first choice if you are first in line to your seating. But
I mean, and you can have, I think, as much soup as you want. It's not like one bowl and that's it. You're cut off.
We usually have plenty of leftover.
Yeah, I bet.
And then the leftover bowls are also for sale, and we'll also get the money for those will get donated. So once everyone's gotten their bowl with their ticket and the soup, the rest of them are for sale for $20 if they want to just grab another bowl.
I didn't know that. I have to
So
do that.
anything that doesn't get chosen in that like first seating that's still out is then for sale, and all the money will go to the.
You will see me there. So how did you decide? That's a lot of work, getting the volunteers and, and it's.
A woman at the studio named Bonnie Seidman really started this. This is the 8th one. This is the first one she hasn't actually been able to really work on directly. And so we did it the first 6 years, and then COVID kind of happened, and we all, nothing happened for a while, and we wanted to try reviving it. But it was a really good.
You had a good turnout last year.
It was great.
They were all over the place with cars.
We raised almost like $25,000 for that event.
Seriously, that's great.
Which the biggest one before that was maybe 8 or something. So it was a much bigger.
Well, and there are people use this phrase "empty bowl" when I was looking it up on internet. Yours was there, but there were also empty bowl in Lyndonville, empty bowl in Brattleboro.
It's a very common like pottery fundraiser.
Well, you know what you're getting. You know what it is.
So we did not invent the type of event.
Well, I'm glad you did it and the Zen Barn is a perfect place to have it, and thank them for. Giving it to you at no cost. That's a very nice thing to do.
Yeah, they've been great to work with.
Yeah, well, it's a good restaurant.
And they have just having like a dishwasher to do the
do some people make the soup there, or do
they? They don't actually make the soup. I'm trying to think of who I know off the top of my head. There's like Picasso makes some soup.
Nice.
Maxie's in Waterbury's making some soup. Oh God, there's a whole bunch of other ones. Sarducci's make soup. There's like 10
you've got good
people.
Restaurants for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Sarducci's is my favorite. So. We don't even have to ask where we're going to dinner in my house.
Oh, it's always there.
I say, you want to go to dinner? Sure. What time? Okay, let's go.
I like the polenta.
We go to Sarducci's. But anyway, you were in a nice place near the Red Hen. And they give you bread, right? They are very generous.
Yes,
people.
They were great neighbors, and they still are very generous. And I was lucky to have connected with them being in Middlesex.
Yeah, for sure, because really almost any place you go where there's bread there, is Red Hen. Yes, Red Hen.
Yes.
They're very generous.
And they donate tons of bread. We always have tons of bread. So
that's great. That's good. So at the studio itself, you were there how many years now? Moving around. I can't even imagine moving to one place to another.
I bought it in 2008, and moving a pottery studio is horrible.
Yeah, I can't
never
imagine.
Want to do it again.
Yeah.
So we were in Montpelier when I first bought it, and it was just small, and we wanted to just be in a bigger space. And
look at it
really
now.
moved to Middlesex on a whim.
Yeah.
I think I had to re-sign my lease within 2 days in Montpelier, and I was like, oh, I really want to move. I'm like, maybe I should go check out this Camp Mead place. And there was an old museum building, I think it was, originally. Yeah. And so we leased it.
That's great.
It was kind of a bit of a dump, but it was great for us.
When you filled it with all this good stuff, you didn't notice
it. The location was great. And,
Yeah.
Pottery is a little rough on a space, so it's never neat and tidy or anything. You wouldn't want a really
was
nice
Camp
space
Mead
for it.
in full bloom back then, or had they changed it when you moved in there? Because that was where Camp Mead was when
it was
with the big restaurant and or it was Red Hen.
When we first moved, Red Hen had been there for a couple years probably, and Nutty Steph was there at the time.
Right.
They had moved in fairly recently before us.
Yeah.
And it was a really great
great
synergy
place.
being there for a while, and
there's a lot of us old timers that miss the Camp Mead with the diner.
Yeah, when I first got there, there was a bunch of still army stuff.
Yeah,
there was bunkers and all these oil barrels that you could crawl on the ground. And the space that we rented had all these murals of. You could still. We didn't really paint over them, but there's always shelves in front of them But there would be guys getting off U-boats. Mm-hmm. That was in World War II. The U-boat.
U-boat. Yeah. PT boats and.
So was kind of it's a fun spot to be.
Yeah, well, it's great. We're glad you're there. So did you learn pottery from a class, or did you just come by it naturally? Because that's you got to really know what you're doing.
I took it as a art elective in college, and really enjoyed it. And then took classes at a place similar to the Mud Studio when I was working when I had a real job for a little while.
Actually making money, was that?
And then I moved back up here when I was in my mid-20s and
Right.
didn't have a job. So I had a lot of time to be in the pottery studio.
There you
And
go.
there was a place on River Street called River Street Potters, and
Yeah.
I started working there and teaching there, and then kind of like managing it as the old owner was kind of like stepping out a little bit, and eventually I bought it.
That's great.
So
Very
it was
good.
not a planned career choice
Well,
as much
you
as
know
I
what?
fell into
Those
it.
are the things that work out the best when you just do it. You
Yeah.
don't think about it much. You just go and do it because it's an opportunity. So there you go. And I know everybody loves what you do and the stuff you can find there.
There are some
It's
very
really good.
people are really creative. I
Yeah.
think people underestimate their own creativity and
that's
ability
right.
to do stuff.
I love Vermont, and I've tried to talk to the commerce people. Them, you know, they're always trying to attract people here, and you look at all of the artists and talented people like yourself that have all these skills, acting, singing, dancing, ironwork, pottery, painting. I mean, it's just we're loaded with really
Really are.
talented people, and if we could promote that, I bet we could bring people, you know, more artists here, because it's a beautiful landscape. There's always something wonderful to see and paint and get inspired by. And
It's true.
I keep saying, why don't you do that? Because I think people would
Artists
go.
have no money.
Come on, that's probably true. But we actually take care of, there's insurance for artists that you can get, special for artists. And there's some association that helps artists. After the flood, there was a lot of help for them.
Oh, for surf, you mean?
Yeah, for,
Craft Emergency Relief Fund?
yep.
Yeah. They're right up in Montpelier too, I think.
Yes, yeah, I did a show on them to tell people that they're there. And so I think we watch out for our artists
Yes.
when things are tough. We try to help them out because you guys add to who Vermont is or what Vermont is, right?
We
I
try.
think.
We try.
We try.
I think we do.
Yes,
I
I
hope
think
we
you
do.
do too. Because really, you go to different concerts and stuff, and it blows me away, the talent that we have here.
There is an
just-
amazing amount of talent here.
Yeah.
I feel like when I'm thinking back to like just the people I went to high school with in Randolph, in just like a small town, and so many of them ended up doing really interesting stuff in the arts. A lot of them not in Vermont anymore, but
Oh, well, that's too bad.
still kind of like
Yeah.
a high level of talent for such a small pool of people, really.
But, I have a friend of mine who's was a painter for years and years and very well known. He had, you know, cards that he would make up for this painting. And then he had trouble with his eyesight. So now he finds really unique woods and makes wooden earrings. And he just switched his talents to making different things that he can do, given his eyesight. And he's right in Bristol, and he sells all this stuff, and people love it, especially if you can say it's handmade. That does
Yes,
it, you know.
that does help.
Yeah, that's right. So, do you bring your stuff over to the Zen Barn, or probably not, because you'd some things to
I
sell?
make I think I have like 20 bowls
Oh,
that I made
oh,
for this
okay.
event.
Did
so-
I pick any of them out? I take it
you
not.
didn't, Pat.
There's two. Well, how do I know?
Oh, I recognize that they're not mine. That's all. This one's sticky too.
I know that's all
You really gotta-
sticky. I don't know why. I think it's
Yeah,
from
so
my
I do
cooking.
still make some pots, but there's a ton of pots, and they're not all. We last year started doing this event with Blockhouse Studio in Wakefield, so a lot
Yeah.
of the bowls are from them. But we also have bowls from just other potters outside that don't work out of either one of the studios.
That's great.
But are in this area.
So does that what is it?
Blockhouse.
Blockhouse. Is it set up like yours? The same sort of
Yeah, it's
idea?
really similar.
Yeah.
Pam, who owns it, used to be a student at the Mud Studio back when we were in Middlesex.
Great.
So it's somewhat similar. They have a really nice gallery with great stuff in it.
Yeah.
Good little spot.
I think Waitsfield has a glass studio.
Oh, yes.
They have got a chandelier there that is, you don't even want to touch it because you're afraid you're going to be the one to make it, fall apart. It's just amazing how anybody can do something like that.
Yeah. Is it the Mad River Glass place?
Yeah, it's just great. They have so many there's so much stuff around here.
There really
is. Just drive down the street and stop and you've got something cooking. That's great. Yeah, but my house, I'm very big on glass.
Oh, I always want to collect
everywhere.
glass. And I feel like maybe my kids are getting a little older and I can start collecting glass.
Oh, it's great. It's beautiful.
I've always wanted to try it too.
Yeah.
It's kind of feel like it's the, they use a lot of porcelain in pottery, and glass is like I don't know what. Porcelain is about as fine and as white and as thin as you can get with something made out of clay, and then glass is like kind of just the glaze on.
It's like what's down in what's the name of the store right by the, Simon Pierce. Ever been down to Simon Pierce?
I've been to Simon Pierce,
They
yes.
use all their stuff in the restaurant, so you're eating with all of this fabulous glass and dishes and.
It's like cantilevered over the river.
Yeah,
Looking at falling.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, they had a little trouble this year with lack of water.
Really?
We were there not too long ago, and we're like, whoa, where's the water? Because they do rely on that to.
Is it like a little generator?
Yeah, they
didn't
use it
realize
to get power. And when it wasn't running too good, so I think they must have switched to good old electricity. But
Yeah. Glass takes a ton of energy. Just we fire stuff, it gets really hot. But it's like, it goes from cold to hot in 12 hours or something. But the glass is like constantly has to be at this really high temperature. So all the furnaces are kind of always running.
So you have them running at nighttime when you're.
No, we don't. Glass blowers do because they have to keep the
the temperature up at a certain. Yeah, it's amazing watching them, and this thing just forms
it's
with
kinda
just a
crazy.
little breath here and there, and it's great. But I buy seconds, so if you have any seconds, people don't see the seconds,
Well, we have that giant second sale, so
Yeah,
you
I
should
know
come
that.
to that.
And you advertise it, and
Would you advertise it? It's Open Studio Weekend, which is Memorial Day. And it's pretty big.
your studio must be big, given the amount of people that you said that use
We
your
turn
new-
out a lot of pots.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed sometimes.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if you ever, we joke around, do you ever see that Seinfeld episode with Newman the mailman, and he's just like, the mail just keeps coming and coming and coming, and that's kind of the way I feel about the pot. You load a kiln, and there's just like a whole new pile of pottery that has been made that needs to go into the next one.
That's probably good for a business
Yes,
perspective.
it is good.
It's good. Just tell them, but come on, that's good. Well, I think, I hope everybody will go to this Empty Bowl benefit because it is fabulous. And Good Samaritan Haven I'm very impressed with them, how they've kept the property, and they're just wonderful neighbors. And they all need help, and
It's like a great organization,
Yeah,
and I
it
feel
is.
like there's such a big need right now in the state, especially with stuff like transitioning. It seems like the hotel program is maybe dwindling down, and so there is just a need for.
Why they dwindled down in the winter is another whole show.
Yes, I don't know that.
I
That whole
don't
program
understand
seems
that
to be
from a
weirdly.
political perspective. This is Vermont.
Yes.
And we get cold sometimes. But I forget his name. He was the original manager for Good Samaritan, but I heard he's doing something else for them. I have to introduce myself to the new guy, but they provide a wonderful service, and as you said, they do provide counseling.
Yes.
And it's for emergency placement too. If you need something, they're there for you.
Yeah, and I think
And
they will
it's good.
work to find you
Yeah.
permanent housing too, which is
And
great.
some help, which is very hard these days. I mean, housing is a
Housing is
humongous.
really rough.
Yeah, it is. It's scary how, in this rural state with lots of land, but everybody wants to be close to downtown. So
Yes.
and their
well,
offices.
And it's just expensive to build anything.
Yeah, right. Anyway, that takes, so what's in the future for the Mud Studio? Just chugging along and more members?
I don't know that I really want to get bigger. I know that sounds weird.
Was it just
from a business
you?
person. No, I have I have like 7 employees.
Oh, really?
So there's, most of them are teachers who will come and teach. Classes usually meet like one night a week, and they'll be in 2-month blocks. So I teach 2 out of, I think there's like 10 classes a week or something. And then I have one mostly full-time assistant named Joe, who's amazing.
Great.
If you see Joe, say hi to him.
I'll say hi, Joe.
And I probably couldn't really run it without him at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
I don't know. I feel like when it was a little smaller, I knew people a little better. I knew everybody.
Right.
Now, there's so many classes and so many people, I don't
Yeah.
always recognize the people that even come in.
Right.
So,
That's the price of success, right? The
yes,
bigger-
I would like to get back to making more pots myself. So I feel like sometimes biggering doesn't always
What kind
work
of things
with that.
do you make cups and
I'm mostly a functional
Oh,
potter.
okay.
So cups, bowls,
yeah?
mugs.
But like the things that you have to show me which are yours.
I know, none of the things are,
You're
I have
gonna
some
be
stuff
there,
at the
aren't you?
artisan's hand.
Yeah.
There's stuff at the studio.
Yes, I have some of Andy's stuff. He makes these bowls where you can put a Chinese chopsticks. Thank
Yes.
you. Put chopsticks right in a hole here. I bought a couple of, because we're big on Chinese food in my house, so we use Andy's bowls, Andy Snyder's bowls.
I do
But
love
I'll have to
Chinese food.
email him and tell him we chatted.
Tell them I said hello.
I will tell him that. Andy and I were good friends. We worked together at the Department of Education when I was there. And then he retires and he becomes this pretty good potter, I think.
Man of the world.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff. I don't know where I've seen him a lot down in Waitsfield when they have their big outdoor events.
Oh, the big craft show they have.
Right.
On.
Yeah, I think he was up at Stowe one time too for that one.
He might have, that Stowe Festival, I think, is canceled this year after
Yes,
that
yeah, they did. I was
wind
very
thing last year.
I was bummed. I think COVID
Yeah.
people just lost interest, I think. Which
I
is a
think
shame.
Andy does do Vermont Open Studio, which is that same weekend that we have the second sale.
Oh.
He has his studio down in Orwell, like you
Yeah,
were talking about.
right. Yeah, it's amazing how he just picked it up, and I mean he was the liaison for the Department of Ed with the State House, and gift to gab, which was why they picked him. But then he just picks up pottery, and off he goes. So, but it's something you can do forever, right? I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like all physical things.
Yeah.
It gets hard to maybe make giant pots when you are
Right.
older, but
Right.
there's, you can make tiny things. You
all-
can make
all
stuff by
in the-
hand. You don't have to make
the
it
hands.
on the wheel at all.
Could anybody learn? Pretty much,
Yeah,
or
anybody
yeah?
anybody can definitely learn. We at my studio mostly focus on adult classes, but there are lots of stuff for kids out there.
Oh, really?
Blockhouse has a ton of kids classes, and I think there's another place actually in Waterbury called Seminary Arts that has a ton of kids
Oh,
options
nice.
too.
Cool. Well, we should take advantage of all these artists we have in this state and pick their brains a little bit and make them
Yes,
teach us
but
stuff.
anybody can do stuff.
Yes, I can. We can do it. I was doing the paint and sip, a couple of painted sips, and after you sip, you can paint. It seemed
Or
to
you just
work
don't
that
care
way.
anymore.
Exactly. I don't care what it looks like. Just let me paint. But anyway, I know you all know where the Zen Barn is. You can go online at the block.
You could go to,
Can you
I
go
think
to-
it's just blockhousestudio.com.
Blockhouse-studio.com.
Themudstudio.com, you'll find right on our front page, there's a spot to click for empty bowl tickets. I think you can probably click through from Good Samaritan Haven's website as well.
Oh,
And it's at the Zen Barn, which is
Yep.
on Guptill Road in Waterbury.
whatever. Nice place, places to park, sort of.
Yeah, lots of parking.
Good,
There's a little outdoor space, so if it's nice that weekend, we can kind of,
Yep.
Be in and out.
It may be beautiful.
it may
It's
be.
great.
It's a little bit iffy that time
And
of year,
there
but
is a lot of food.
yes, lots of
and
food, lots of
They don't hold you
pottery.
back. You just can eat. So I would just sit and eat the cheese and crackers. That's my
Yes.
That's my thing. But Cabot is just. Is it mostly from Cabot or?
Actually, Vermont Creamery gives us a ton of
That's
stuff.
true. They're wonderful too.
So they both give us food, and Von
Grafton?
Trapp is giving us cheese too, and Jasper Hill.
Jasper Hill, that's good stuff.
There's a bunch of cheese, but it's not all Cabot.
Oh, okay. Well, but they all are, we are
all
so
delicious,
fortunate
though.
here. Everybody's so generous when
Yes.
it's for a good cause, which this is certainly a good cause. So I really thank you very much for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to have you back. We're going to do a tour of the Mud Studio.
Okay.
And let people see where you work and bring them down and teach them how.
Okay.
Because it's cool.
Sounds
So,
good.
Mike Sullivan, thank you. Go to this event. It's really
Thanks, Pat.
excellent. Empty Bowl Benefit, April 13th, I'm going to the 4 in case you want to say hi. 4 and 6?
6,
6,
yes.
okay. We'll see you there. This is Pat McDonald, your host for Vote for Vermont, where our tagline is listening beyond the sound bites. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Pat.
Thanks. See you next week.